Most of us have heard the story of Samson all wrong. We were told he was this superhero with incredible strength who lost it all when a seductress called Delilah cut off his hair. But that's not what the Bible actually says about Samson. You see, Samson lost all of his strength because he had broken every single Nazirite vow that he had made to God, including cutting your hair. In the book of Judges, God is consistently looking for a man or for a woman to use to help stop the moral decay of his people. He works with people like Deborah and tries to work through people like Gideon until Gideon gets corrupted. And so God says, I need someone wholly dedicated to me so we can make this work. And what better person than a Nazirite? A Nazirite was any man or woman that dedicated their life to God for a set period of time. It could be 1 year, it could be 10 years, it could be their entire life. The choice was theirs. But the point of a Nazirite was to say, God, I'm committing myself to your will, to your mission, and I will do nothing else except for ensure that mission is a success. And so there were 3 things a Nazirite had to do. Number 1 is a Nazirite would never cut their hair, because keeping their hair was essentially a spiritual sign that they are in service to God, and the length of their hair represented their length of service. It was a sign to others that I'm on mission, and until I've cut my hair, the mission is not finished. A second one is they were always to be sober-minded, so they never drank alcohol because to be in partnership with God, they needed to remain clear. And then the third one was that they never touched dead things. Why? Because in the book of Leviticus, whenever someone touched something dead, they would be unclean. It didn't mean they sinned, it just meant that they couldn't enter the presence of God until they were clean again. But essentially they weren't to touch dead things so that they could constantly come into the presence of God. Because if you're going to partner with God, you need to be in constant communication with them. So those are the Nazirite vows. And what we see in Samson's story is him willingly break every single one of those vows. It starts off, for example, with his choice in a wife. Remember, Nazirites were committed to God's mission. And when God said, don't marry these people, they are sinful people, and I'm trying to fix that, Samson instead chose a wife from that same people group. Then it keeps going downhill. Samson has this episode where he kills a lion. And later when he comes to see the dead carcass of that lion, he sees that bees have made honey in it. And he goes and he touches that dead lion carcass, something you shouldn't do as a Nazirite because it means you can't come and commune with God, and he eats honey from it. Who would do that, right? It's absurd, and because it's absurd, we can see that Samson's almost going out of his way to rebel against God, to rebel against his vows. And we can see that even in his attitude afterwards, because he makes the fact that he ate from this carcass this mysterious riddle that everyone has to solve. He's getting attention and entertainment from the fact that he broke this vow. So by the time we meet Delilah, Samson has broken almost every single one of his Nazirite's vows. He has consistently moved against God, despite the fact that he was supposed to be fully committed to God. And so when he finally tells Delilah, if you cut my hair, I will lose my strength, it isn't because his hair is magic. It is because keeping his hair was the last Nazirite vow that Samson kept with God. And if you remember, when someone cuts their hair, they are signaling the end of their commitment to God. And God honored that with Samson. It says God's spirit left Samson when his hair got cut. So he's kind of an anti-hero. God succeeded in the end despite of Samson, not because of Samson. But luckily, around about this time, there's another Nazirite being called, and his name is Samuel. And Samuel is fully dedicated to God. But we'll meet him in about 2 books to come.